Hello friends and my dear students, myself Komal Walde from RBNB College, Sri Rampur. In previous video, we discussed about the classification of animals in the kingdom Animalia. The classification depends on the criteria that the body plan, symmetry, sedimentation and the cellular organization. Today we are discussed about the classification between the phylum, three phylums, the phylum Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes and the phylum Annelida. Before we moving on our topic, in previous video we studied about the cellular organization, means organ system or the tissue form. We discussed about the primary classification, that is the primary or animals, porifera, hydra, sponges, cnidaria. Now we discussed about the phylum which is higher than the porifera or the cnidaria or from the sponges. First we discussed about the phylum Platyhelminthes. Phylum Platyhelminthes. The name Platyhelminthes means the animals are plate-like body organization, or the shape of that animals is dorsiventrally flattened. That's why the name is given Platyhelminthes. Means they are plate, slippery like body. They are the dorsiventrally flattened. We know that the example is the liver fluke or fasciola. It is the example of phylum Platyhelminthes. These are known as the flatworm. They are dorsiventrally flat. That's why it is also known as the flatworm. The Platyhelminthes is known as the flatworm. The animals are ocelomate, triploblastic and the showing organ system. Means the grade of organization here, it is the organ system, means different organs are present in the animal. They are mostly endoparasitic. The animal from the Platyhelminthes is mostly endoparasitic and the few are free living. The parasitic form show the presence of hook or the presence of sucker. The parasitic form of the animal is show presence of hook and the sucker for the attachment of body to the substratum. Means the body is parasitic and they are attached to the substratum or to the host body with the help of that sucker. Again, the body is covered by the cuticle. And this cuticle or the cilia is present in the parasitic animal or in the free living animals. In the parasitic animal, the cuticle is present all over the body, and in the free living animals there is the cilia is present for the locomotion of that animals. Again, the digestive system is generally upset because the animal is parasitic form. So the true digestion or the digestive system is absent in the parasitic form, but in the free living form it is the incomplete digestion with the blind sac body plan. In the free living animals, the digestive system or the digestion or alimentary canal is incomplete with the blind sac body plan, and we know about the blind sac body plan. There is only single opening for the ingestion as well as the egestion. Again, the animals have the flame cells which is known as the protonephridia, and these the animals which having flame cells or protonephridia which useful for the excretion and osmoregulation. Means the excretion or osmoregulation is carried out by the protonephridia which is known as the flame cell. The animals are hermaphrodite, means both sexes in the single animals. We can say that it is the bisexual also. Bisexual means hermaphrodite, in which the single animal showing both sexes, male as well as the female. That's why we can say that it is the hermaphrodite. Again, the fertilization is self-type, means self-fertilization is seen in the platyhelminthes, and the asexually, these are reproduced by the asexually, means the few animals having the power of regeneration, and the asexual, another method is seen in the platyhelminthes or in the liver fluke, that is polyembryony. The both types of the asexual reproduction are seen in the animals from platyhelminthes. Now we move on our second phylum, that is the phylum Aschelminthes. The name is given that the Aschelminthes means the body is like a sac like worm, or we can say that it is known as it is thread like animals, sac like worm. That's why it is known as the roundworm. The animal from the Aschelminthes is known as roundworm. If we take a cross section of that animal, we are clearly seeing that the animal is circular. The animal from that Aschelminthes is a circular body shape. If we take a cross section, it is seen circular. That's why the given name is the roundworm. The Aschelminthes is known as the roundworm. Mostly the animals from the Aschelminthes is parasitic. Again, it is the parasitic, some are the endoparasitic, and few are free living. The few are free living and mostly they are the parasitic, and body is long, cylindrical and circular. So the name is the roundworm. The roundworms are triploblastic as well as bilaterally symmetrical. The symmetry is bilaterally, means if we take one section, it gives two equal parts, that is the bilaterally. In the platyhelminthes also, the symmetry is bilaterally symmetrical, means the animals, if we give a section, if we cut a section, it gives two equal parts, that is the bilaterally symmetrical. And the body plan of Ascaris or the roundworm is tube within tube body plan, means it having two ends, the anal end and the oral end, means the digestion is completed with that alimentary canal or with the oral end, head and the anal end. Again, the body is covered by the tough resistance cuticle. The Ascaris, we are clearly seen that the body is covered by the tough cuticle, and there is no circular muscle, but the longitudinal muscles are present, but the circular muscles are the absent. And alimentary canal is completed, because we know that if the body plan is tube within tube with two ends, means mouth and the anus, so the alimentary canal is completed. Again, the excretion takes place by the canal, and the nervous system has nerve ring with nerve. Nervous system is present with nerve ring and nerve. The Aschelminthes is higher than the sponges or the porifera. The classification is now beginning from lower to the higher animals. The animals are from the Aschelminthes is unisexual. Is unisexual means the male and female is separate, and they show sexual dimorphism, means they are externally separate, externally different from each other. They show the sexual dimorphism, and it is the unisexual organism. The animals from Ascaris, or we can say that the animal from the Aschelminthes, the example is Ascaris. Here sexual dimorphism is clearly seen, and the female is longer and broader than the male. As compared to the male, it is longer and broader, but the male is shorter and thinner than the female, and they show the dimorphism. Again, the copulation takes place by the seta of the male, and the fertilization, which is internal in the ascaris, the fertilization is internal, and the development, it may be larval or it may be absent by the larval. Here the second phylum, that is Aschelminthes. Now we move on our third phylum, that is the Annelida. We move on our third phylum, that is the Annelida. It is the example of Annelida, that is Nereis, leech and the earthworm. These are the animal which is included in the Annelida. The name Annelida is shown that the animal or body is like form of ring, is a form of ring. That's why the name of that Annelida, it is known as the ringworm. It is known as the ringworm because the worm is segmented. Worm is the clearly seen that in the leech the segmented is present, and it is the ring form, means they are arranged like the segmented one above the other and form a ring. That is why it is known as ringworm. The animals from the Annelida are ectoparasitic, and some are the free living animals. The ectoparasitic animals, some are the free living and some are burrowing in soil. They show bilateral symmetry, means if we get if we cut the cross section, it give two equal parts, that is the bilateral symmetry, as we know that. And they show bilateral symmetry with segmentation, with metameric segmentation. The spatial region of the body is called as clitellum, which is present in the animals of Annelida. The locomotion is carried out with different organs. In the leech, the locomotion is carried out by the sucker. In the Nereis, the locomotion is carried out by the parapodia, and in the earthworm, the locomotion is carried out by the seta. These organs are developed for the locomotion, and this is the means higher animals from the porifera or from the sponges. Here different organs also form, means the degree of the organization here, the organ system, different organs for the different process. Say like as locomotion, for the locomotion it is carried by the sucker, parapodia or the seta. Again the circulatory longitudinal and circular muscles, it is also present, which help in the locomotion. And the alimentary canal is completed. Alimentary canal is completed because the body plan is the tube within tube body plan, means it has two ends. It has two ends. In the cnidaria, there is only single opening, we know that. In the sponges, there is the only cellular organization, completely cellular organization, there is no opening. But in the Annelida, tube within tube body plan with anus and the oral. Again, the exchange of gases, which is also takes place through the body wall, as well as the circulatory system is closed type. The circulatory system is closed type, and the excretion and osmoregulation is carried out with the help of nephridia. Here the osmoregulation and excretion is carried out by the nephridia, and we know that in the Platyhelminthes the excretion or the osmoregulation is carried out by the protonephridia, and here the nephridia. Again the nervous system is consists nerve ring and ventral nerve cord. The nervous system consists nerve ring and the ventral nerve cord, and this nerve cord is ventral solid. The nerve cord is the ventral and solid. The animal from Annelida is mostly they are hermaphrodite, means they are the bisexual single animal or single body consists both the sexes. We know that in the earthworm and leech also they are hermaphrodite, means the bisexual. Here male and female is not separate, but few are dioecious. The dioecious animal from the Annelida is Nereis. Here the dioecious means the male and female is separate, but the leech and earthworm they are bisexual and the hermaphrodite. So today we discussed the comparatively study between Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes and the Annelida. The example, I repeat that, the fasciola or liver fluke from the Platyhelminthes. In the Aschelminthes, Ascaris, which is known as the roundworm, and it is the parasitic also. And the third one is Annelida, they are earthworm, leech and Nereis, which is known as the ringworm because it present or it is segmented animal. The animal Ascaris is known as roundworm, the animal from Annelida is known as ringworm, and this is the comparison between the both phylum. It is roundworm, ringworm. Again the Ascaris is unisexual, the leech or the earthworm is the bisexual, and symmetry is same in the both, means the bilateral symmetry. And here our three phylum, namely the Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes and Annelida is completed. Thank you.